Hi everyone! Today I thought I'd finally talk a little bit about the animation on He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. It's something that I mentioned in passing in my episode reviews, but now let's have a good, long, honest talk about it, and yes, from the perspective of things that bother me about it. He-Man and Masters of the Universe was produced by Filmation, a studio which prided itself for producing all of its cartoons 100% domestically in America. It was also a studio known for heavy, and I do mean heavy, usage of recycled animation. Sometimes referred to as stock footage or stock animation, but I prefer recycled because stock footage just means footage which is repeatedly used in various occasions. Yes, He-Man has this as well, but what people are actually talking about is seeing the same animation cells reused in different scenes, in different episodes, in different situations. Because of this, He-Man might not be for everybody, but it doesn't honestly bother me. I just see it as the visual signature of this specific cartoon. However, just as with all animation, it bothers me when the animators either make blatant mistakes or just weird artistic choices that didn't pan out. And this is what I'll be looking at in this video. Firstly, talk cycles. And I will admit that here Filmation did their best to keep these scenes rolling despite how often, practically in every episode in fact, you are going to see a recycled speech cycle animation. Filmation did a good job most of the time though in using close-ups of different intensities and different perspectives. However, this medium shot of He-Man is really what I'm talking about here. Filmation chose to use this the most because I think they believed He-Man's mouth was in a relatively neutral position. But if you look closely, you can kind of tell He-Man does have the slightest smiles going on. And this always bothers me in episodes where He-Man is supposed to sound concerned because his face clashes a bit with what he's saying.
Richest man in the universe.
What do you mean?
But why this sudden interest in the castle?
He's a tough one, Battle Cat.
Alright, but the most obvious topic is the sword. You know what I'm talking about. So many times the sheath on He-Man's back is just completely empty and his sword is nowhere to be seen. Then suddenly the sword is in his hand and then suddenly it's back on his back. And what about Adam? What magical pocket dimension does he keep pulling that sword from? I understand a lot of these mistakes were probably an unfortunate side effect of the breakneck production speed of the episodes, but especially with Adam, it's kind of funny how casually Filmation chose not to even have him carrying the sword most of the time. Alright, let's talk about He-Man's mount hop talk. This mistake started happening during season 2. Ever since I first watched a He-Man episode, which was Like Father, Like Daughter, one of my favorite animations was this one of He-Man mounting Battle Cat. I love the bounce since it gives the scene a real sense of gravity. However, during season 2, the animation directors frequently freeze-framed this scene in order to have He-Man have dialogue with Battle Cat or other characters. It looks so awful, especially since He-Man's hair just suddenly stops moving. And of course, there's the big yellow ball. Not kidding, this thing can be anything. It can be the shrinking ball from Dawn of Dragoon, it can be the Spellstone from The Curse of the Spellstone, or a portal to Trolla, or that giant thing in The Royal Cousin, or a goddamn flashbang. One funny recurring dramatic camera angle on He-Man is this crotch shot of He-Man landing from atop of a scene and straddling the scenery between his legs. Filmation animators seem to like this shot so much that not only wasn't used constantly, they gave Teela the exact same pose without thinking just how funny it would look. I mean, some people probably don't mind having Teela's ass in their face, but come on. And finally, let's round this video out with a few just plain unflattering shots. There's this one from the Dragon Invasion, where they put He-Man's foot too close to the camera, making him unintentionally look gigantic. And also frequently in Season 1, the handle on He-Man's sword looks extremely skinny and way too long. And finally, the worst close-up of all are these ones which I call the up-the-nose shot. Basically, a low close-up up towards the characters' faces. This is pretty much just Art 101, but any perspective where you see up the nose of a character usually will just look terrible. But the weirdest close-up is this one from the She-Demon of Phantos, where He-Man and Teela walk headfirst into Skeletor's Havoc Staff vision. I get the feeling they meant for the characters to be focused a little further up, or maybe Skeletor really was super transfixed on their chesticles in that episode. And that's this video. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm TheHande. Until next time, I have the power, so can you.